You cannot give up because the Voting Rights Act was gutted by the Supreme Court. I'm so sorry. I get it. You can be upset. Absolutely, I am too. But you can't, because there are things you can do to counteract it. I called my grandpa, who was 20 years old when the Voting Rights Act was signed in 1965. He told me, he said, we can't stop fighting. We cannot give up hope because we have overcome this before. It is temporary. So in that same line of thinking of somebody that was literally alive in Jim Crow, I'm going to tell you what you can do to counteract it. And this is not just specific to Texas, but if you are in Texas, I really need you to listen. Before we get into anything, your vote matters heavily. They would have not killed people to prevent us from being able to do so if it didn't. That's not a casual act. And there wouldn't have been people that fought to do so at risk of being killed if it didn't matter. And these were people that were fighting to vote for people that hated them. So it wasn't about the candidates. It was about having a voice. You have to use it. That is why you can't give up. I'm so sorry. Voting is a very necessary tool to fight what is currently happening. It is not the only tool, but it is one everybody should be using if it is available to them. 2, I need you to recognize the reality of where we are at. This impacts the weight of your vote on a district level. It does not impact it on the level of state. So if you are voting for a representative from a district or for a district, like a U.S. House representative, that is where your vote, unfortunately, especially if you are Black or Latino, has less weight. It sucks. I'm very upset about it, but it is where we're at right now. Where it doesn't impact the weight of your vote is statewide. Governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, comptroller, like those people, when you go and vote, when I go and vote for Jeannie Hinojosa in November, my vote matters just as much as Joe Schmo down the street. So recognize that as well. So if you are thinking that your vote does not matter at all because of what happened yesterday, I need you to recognize that, okay? If you hear somebody say that, I desperately ask you to correct it gently, okay? People's feelings about this are extremely valid right now. Do not shame people for feeling like this is something that feels pointless, okay? The feeling is valid. The reality is not, okay? 3, you have to focus on down ballot races. You have to. It is incredibly important that you do so. Down ballot races, you have the statewide races, the governors and all the other kind of stuff. And then you got all the people under that. They're judges. You have people like again, the state representatives and the state senators. Those are the people you need to hyper focus on. Okay. Those people are arguably the most important people on the ballot now. The people that make up your state legislature. Because those are the people that are drawing the maps for the U.S. House of Representatives, okay? So those are the people that you need to be very familiar with. You need to know what district you are in. You need to know who's currently representing you. You need to know if they are currently up for re-election. You need to know what they voted for in the past, if they are a good candidate. Even if they are a Democrat, you need to figure out that, especially if you are currently in a primary in a state that has currently not had their primary yet. You need to check and see, because you want to have a candidate that you feel good about going into the general. But we need to remember the bigger picture here, because Democrats, traditionally speaking, except for in response to this stuff that happened in Texas with this gerrymandering, don't do this. So if the main thing here is the fact that they are watering down the voices of Black people. They're watering down the voices of Latino people. And if you want to counteract that, you need to vote for Democrats, okay? And you need to support them financially, okay? Because some of the people that get the least money are the people that are down ballot. So when I say support them financially, it literally could be $5. It'd be $2. But they're the ones that are getting the least amount of money. If you support them financially, it quite literally has a direct impact on their likelihood of winning, because it is expensive to run for office. Next, if you are in Texas, you need to support and vote for Jeannie Hinojosa, okay, for governor. Because if she is Texas's governor, she can veto the racist gerrymandering maps. She can do that. So God forbid we're not able to flip the state legislature, we still have her in place in order to veto it, okay? That is super important. I need you to donate to her, please, okay? Her, place to give her money is on my page. And tell people about her. She's wonderful. she also has to build up her name recognition. So you can help a lot just by telling people about her, post about her, share some information with your friends and family, your parents, your grandparents, your church. Last, if you are in Texas, but especially if you are in DFW area, please join my voting group on Sway. Okay, my voting group is on Sway. It is where I will include, or have started including, my recommendations on who to vote for the runoff that is coming up on May 26th. Early voting starts May 18th through the 22nd, and for eventually in November, on November 3rd. That is where you can see who I'm supporting, who I plan on voting for. If you trust me, there it'll be available. If not, totally understand, but I still also will recommend you join, because I will be sharing reminders. I'll be sharing a reminder on when the election is. I'll be sharing a reminder of when early voting is. I'll include things in because I can send you text messages and stuff like that. I won't blow you up or anything like that, but it'll include things like what you should have, how to know where to vote, that kind of thing. So I would recommend you join. Even still, if you're like, I don't know, I'm skeptical, still join, because I want to make sure that people are informed in Texas, because voter suppression is so bad here, and one of the vehicles for it is a lack of information. So go to my page. I'm gonna say the same thing here that I tell everybody else. Feel your feelings, but keep it moving. Do not deny yourself to feel the frustration, the anger, and the devastation of what the Supreme Court did yesterday, but do not stop there. That's all I ask.